Hello everyone, Zane here and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day so far. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to get the spells for Blue Mage from level 50 to 60 that are required in dungeons, Alexander raids, and then of course the primals Ravana and Sophia. Alright, you can do these dungeons with a full party of Blue Mages, or 4 people, and as well as 8 people for the raids and the primals. The more Blue Mages you have, the better chance of you getting the spell, because as long as one person gets it, everybody gets it. Okay? Or you can go in as with 1 tank and 1 healer and do the same thing. But yeah. So the very first dungeon we're going to go into is going to be very serious hard mode. Alright, so when we get to the very first boss, we will continue. Alright guys, so here is the boss. Now we need to learn aetherical mimicry. So basically once he tries to copy you, you go to one of the animals around here, give them your prey marker, and basically it's right there. That's it. Just kill the ad that was mimicked, and you will get ethereal mimicry. So let me just finish this boss off. Alright. So, ethereal mimicry, it's right here. Mirrors the ethereal properties of your target, granting yourself beneficial effect corresponding with the target's role. If target is a tank, grants tank mimicry, increases your defense and augmented certain Blue Mage spells. If a DPS, grants DPS mimicry, increases critical hit and direct hit rate by 20%, and if it's a healer, increases healing magic potency by 20%, and of course certain Blue Mage spells will also increase in potency. If you see my last video, you will know that the ability that's right above it increases to 300 cure potency when you are mimicked as a healer. And the effect cannot be cast on self, and effect ends upon reuse. So if you want to change to a healer, and if you're a DPS, you have to hit it once, and then choose a target, and then become your DPS, or your healer, or your tank. So that's how you get ethereal mimicry. It's very important to get this one as soon as possible. Alright? So when we get to the next dungeon, we will continue. Alright guys, so we are at the Queen Haukke and the Arboretum. We need to learn avail. Basically when she goes invulnerable and her knights tether to her, that's when she does it. Alright, so let's mess her up. There it is, avail. Take down her knights. And acquire the ability. Alright, so avail. Right here. Direct damage intended for you to another party member for 12 seconds. Can only be executed when the member is closer than 10 yalms. Does not activate with certain attacks. This attack does not share recast time with any other action. Has 120 recast time with 1000 MP. So basically it's kind of like cover for paladins, but for Blue Mage. Alright. So when we get to the next dungeon, we will continue. Alright guys, so here we are in the Gubal library normal, and we need to learn level 5 death from this stupid page 64. Now this one can take a little while to get him to use it. But luckily there is a couple books in this dungeon, so if you don't get it the first time, you can try and try again until he finally does it. Oh, there it is. That was a little quicker than I expected. Alright. Now let's just pretend I got it. So, level 5 death. KOs all nearby enemies. Chance of success attack is low. Enemy level must be a multiple of 5, obviously. Has no effect on enemies whose level is higher than your own. And this does not share recast time with any interaction. And has 180-second recast time with 1500 MP cost. They said that it can be used on some bosses, but I haven't tested it out, so it's a one shot, and then you have to wait 180 seconds. Kinda sucks, but yeah, there you go. Alright, so when we get to the next dungeon, we will continue. Alright guys, so here we are in the Gubal library hard mode, and then you see the little statues here. They'll be using Condensed Libre. That is the very first spell you're going to be learning here. Alright, so we need to wait for one of these two guys to do it. There it is, there's one. Basically that's all you need. And you're the one doing the other one. Alright. So, what that does... afflicts target with physical, attunation, astral, or umbral for 30 seconds. Physical increases damage taken from physical attacks by 5%. Astral increases damage taken from fire, wind, lightning for 5%. And umbral does the other three, water, earth, and ice, for 5%. Only one of these statuses can be applied at a target at a time. Alright. The next one is going to be in the next room, and that is going to be the magic hammer. So when I get through these mobs here, we will continue. Alright guys, so Apanda here has the hammer that we need. Here it is, the magic hammer. Alright, let's murder him. Pretend that I got it. So what this does... deals unexpected damage to target and all enemies nearby it with a potency of 250 to the first enemy and 50% to the remaining. Lowers intelligence and mind by 10% for 10 seconds, restores 10% of maximum MP to self for each enemy hit. This action does not share recast time with any other action, and is a 90-second recast time with a 400 MP. And the other thing, the Condensed Libre can be used one after another. Alright, so that is going to be it for the Gubal hard mode. Alright, so when we get to the next dungeon, we will continue. Alright, so here we are in Baelsar's wall, and we need to learn Launcher from the armed weapon, which is the second boss of this dungeon. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. So the ability Launcher delivers an attack to all nearby enemies randomly, dealing 50, 30, 20, or 10% of their HP, has no effect on enemies whose level is higher than your own, and has a 2500 MP cost, and it can be spammed. Alright, so this is going to be very early in the fight. So I'm just going to show you the ability, and then we're just going to exit the boss. There's Launcher. Alright, so it's dead. So, when we get to the next dungeon, we will continue. Alright guys, so here we are in the second Temple of Quarn hard mode, and now we need to learn the shield ability that one of the big giant cactguards gives to the boss here. So just burst through here. Alright, there it is. So murder him, and then finish her off, and you should get it. Alright. So it's going to be right here. And reduces target party members' damage taken by 5%, duration 6 seconds. Increase damage reduction to 15% when you are mimicking a tank. Alright, so that's the one of the abilities that changes if you are a tank blue mage. Alright, so now when we get to the next dungeon, we will continue. Alright guys, so here we are in Haukke Manor hard mode, defeating Ash here, not the crafter Ash, but the void scent Ash, and we will be getting abyssal transfixion. Alright, it's a pretty quick spell, so be aware of that. Let's see if we can get him to use it. There it is. And that's what it does, paralyzes you. Alright. So what it does, deals physical damage, a potency of 220, and paralysis for 30 seconds. And it has an MP cost of 200, and it can be spammed. Alright, so that is your ranged physical attack. Alright. So now we're going to be going into our very last dungeon, which is going to be the vault. So when we get there, we will continue. Alright guys, and the last two spells you'll learn from a dungeon is the White Knight and Black Knight. Their Tor abilities. It's going to be a line anyway from both of them, so... There's two sets of these in this dungeon, so if you don't get it the first time, you can get it the second time. There they are. White Knight and Black Knight. Murder them. And there you go. So what they do, White Knight Tor deals unexpected damage to all enemies in a straight line before you with a potency of 200 for the first and 50% for the remaining. Potency is increased to 400 when the enemies are bound. The bind effect is also removed. An additional effect, slow 20% for 20 seconds, and Black Knight Tor's ability is basically the opposite. It gives bind, but it increases under slow. This one basically gives slow, but increases under bind, so these basically go together. And they're both spammable at 300 MP cost. Alright, so that is going to conclude dungeons. So now we're going to be going into the Alexander raid, and we'll be learning those spells next. Alright, so when we get into Alexander, we will continue. Alright guys, so here we are in Alexander, the Fist of the Father. And we're going to be learning this ability right here. I am not even going to pronounce this because I can't, but these come from the ads that Faust spawns in the beginning of the raid. And as long as the boss doesn't kill you, you can continually spawn the ads until you actually learn the ability. Right, so let's see if we can get the little ads to spawn. Alright, it's going to be the strum dolls that are going to be using it. There it is. We're going to murder Faust. Alright, so what this does, deals physical damage to all enemies in a cone before you with a potency of 220 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. So basically almost all the AoE damage is 220, but it's spammable with 200 MP cost. Alright, Next, we are going to be going into the third Alexander, and we're going to be getting Protean Wave from Living Liquid. So when we get there, we will continue. Alright guys, so here's Living Liquid, which we'll be getting Protean Wave. It's going to be a water damage attack, and a cone before you with potency 220 for the first enemy and 50% less for the remaining, 15 Yalm knockback, and has 200 NP cost and is spammable. Alright, so once we see the ability, I'm going to quickly die, and then we'll be going to the next one, which is going to be a 4 and the Manipulator. Alright, so let's get this guy to use his Protean Wave. There it is, as you can see here. You also can do mission number, I believe, 29 in the Carnival, and the second part of that, or second act, will give us the enemy that also will do Protean Wave for a little bit easier access to it. Alright, so I'm going to die, and then we're going to go to the next one. So when we get there, we will continue. Alright guys, so here we are at the Burden of the Father. You can get this ability through Brute Justice fight, or through the enemy here, and we're going to be getting the Perpetual Ray. Deals unexpected damage with a potency of 220, as always with AoEs. Additional effect stun for 1 second, and ignores target stun resistance on some enemies, of course. Spammable with 300 MP cost. So basically, when you see the blue line coming out of its eye, that is the Ray attack. So, like always, once we see it, I'm going to die to this boss, and then we'll go to the next raid to get the next ability. There it is, look for the blue light coming out of his eye. It's going to be the prep ray. There it is. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and die to this boss, and I will see you guys in the next raid. Alright guys, here we are in Burden of the Sun. I have my free company healer, Rai, with me to help me survive to get to Jade Kick for Brute Justice. And the Onslaughter here can also give you Prep Ray as well. Alright, so Jade Kick is basically right before he dismantles and summons his little ads to do a bunch of attacks. He'll come down on you, and that's what his Jade Kick is. Alright, let's do this. There's a Jade Kick, he goes down into you, and then he dismantles. Alright guys, so here we are in the Breath of the Creator. We're going to be getting another shield ability. The gob right here should be using it. There it is, gobskin. After he does that, murder him, and you should acquire. You don't even have to go to the boss. Alright, so what that does, creates a barrier around self and all nearby party members that absorbs damage equivalent to a heal of 100 potency for 30 seconds. Barrier strength is increased to absorb damage equivalent to a heal of 250 when you are under the ethereal mimicry healer. Effect cannot be stacked with Scholar's Galvanize or Astrologion's Nocturnal Field. So that is Gobskin, and I believe that is going to be it for the Alexander raid. Next, we're going to go into one of my favorite raids, the Binding Coil of Bahamut, and learn Devour from the Snake from turn 1. So when we get there, we will continue. Alright guys, here we are at Caduceus and the Binding Coil of Bahamut turn 1, and you need to have him eat the slimes that will basically spawn when the platforms light up. Stand on that platform and the slime will appear. Feed him to him by pulling it over to him, and then he should eat it. This might take a little while to get him to spawn them, but we're just going to jump cut right to the slimes, and then we'll show you Devour. Alright, the platforms are glowing, so let's stand on one. There's a dark matter slime. Alright, you ate it. Now let's murder him. We'll split into two when his HP gets low. Here it is. And that's how you learn Devour. Alright guys, and now we are on to the 3 trials that we need to do for the abilities. First is Palm Cure from the White Mage. Moogle from the Thorn March Hard. And he'll be the third set to spawn in this fight. It helps if a blue mage is the one targeting him or has the aggro. So just target him, hit him, he'll use it. And murder him, and there you go. That's about it. Alright, so I'm gonna murder the rest of these Moogles, and we'll be going over to Ravana to get his super... Well, you'll see. So when we get there, we'll continue. Alright guys, here we are at Ravana normal mode, and we need to push him to his last phase. So try not to kill him before you get to it. You're gonna target somebody, as per usual. And there it is. Whatever how you pronounce this word, but that's what he uses, and that's what you can get. Alright guys, so this is going to be the final trial, and it's Sophia who needs her Quasar attack, which basically, it's a AoE that goes on the ground, you have to get away from it, and basically that's what it is. There it is.
Know the full weight of death.
Alright, basically, like I said, it's a meteor that falls down on your head. Basically, that's all it is. Just so you just do that, defeat her, and you're all set. That should be the last spell that you basically are going to be required through raids, trials, and dungeons. Right, so when I get out of here, we're going to head over to the Guildmaster, and then I'll show you how to get the last final 2 spells in your spellbook. Alright guys, so we're back in Ul'dah. The Blue Mage NPC is going to be right across from the Miners Guild. I want to talk to this NPC here. Go to Totems, and you have the Angel, Whisper, and Revenge Blast. This one you have to get a certain amount of spells in order to get it, and this one you have to do all 30 Carnival missions and the Carnival for Blue Mage, which is going to be right over here. You have to do the Blue Mage quests in order to lock the 5 missions that you'll get. Alright. So the Blue Mage skills that I didn't go over is Revenge Blast. Deals physical damage with a potency of 50. Increases to 500 when you're below 20% HP. It has a recast time of 2.50 and you can spam it with 200 MP cost. Angel Whisper. It's basically your raise, 300 second recast time, 1000 MP, and then brings you into a weakened state. Basically that's what that does. Devour deals unexpected damage with a potency of 250, additional HP by 20%, granted for 15 seconds, restores amount of own HP equal to damage dealt, and has no recast timer of anyone else. It can only be used every 60 seconds with 300 MP. J-Kick delivers a jumping physical attack to target and all enemies nearby it. Potency 300 for the very first enemy, 50% less for the remaining, just like any AoE. Cannot be used while bound, and it shares a recast timer with a certain blue spell. Quasar deals unexpected damage to nearby enemies. Potency 200, 50% less for everyone else. Shares a recast timer. Ravana's ability, the Supra, deals earth damage to all enemies in the cone before you, 200. 50 for everyone else after that. It grants a fury stack, increases potency of the attack by 50% for 3 seconds, can be used up to 4 times. The fury can only be stacked up to 3 times, and you cannot use any other ability or you will lose the stacks. Alright. I believe these two are the ones that share the recast timer, but I haven't really tested it yet. The other one is Palm Cure that I didn't go over. Restores target HP, a cure potency of 100. Increases to 500 if you are mimicking a healer. So basically, for those of you who don't want to spam White Wind, you have Palm Cure. Then you have this ability here that can heal everyone else if you don't want to use White Wind. So those are the abilities that I did not go over. I figured I'd just do them at the end of it. Alright guys, so that's basically how you obtain all the spells through the raids, the dungeons, and the trials. So I did a video on how to do all the open world ones, so this one I did all the duty finder ones. I didn't want to put them all together because that'd be too long of a video. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you found this useful. Any comments, questions, and or concerns, please put them in the comment section down below. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out with any questions you might have. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new for more Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers content. And as a reminder, hit that notification bell next to my subscribe button. It's where you guys never miss an upload, and follow me on all my social media at Zane Lionheart on Twitter and Facebook. So until next time guys, may you forever walk in the glorious light of Lord Bahamut. Take care guys, happy farming, and good luck.